Hi guys, Candace here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about something that's truly near and dear to my heart. It is my 1-year homeowner anniversary. Okay, I'm so excited, y'all. Y'all just don't know. I'm so hyped. In 2020, I relocated from Jersey City, New Jersey to Houston, and man, this journey has been truly magical and one for the books. I relied heavily on my faith and just hoping everything worked out, and lucky for me it did. I could not be more grateful. I decided around, I would say about April, May, that I needed to buy a house. I lived in Jersey City. I think I was on maybe my 4th or 5th apartment, and I just couldn't do it no more. I was running away from roaches, mice, just everything, and it seemed like no matter what I did, how clean I tried to be, or just it was always something. I was always running into something, and I decided that I was ready and prepared to take on a building of my own where I don't have to answer to anyone. If something is broken, I can get it fixed when I need it to be fixed, and I don't have to live next door to people. You know, that was my whole thing. Sharing a wall was no longer working for me. And I actually started in New Jersey. I said, you know what? My career is here, my family, my life. Let's focus on Jersey. But that just proved to be hopeless. I was not getting anywhere based on, you know, the amount I would have to pay for a house and the standard of living that I was seeking. So I decided to kind of take a risk and expand my search. And I did this by searching basically lists for like the best places for Black families to live. And I stumbled upon a bunch of cities in Maryland and Virginia, North Carolina. I went to college in North Carolina, so that was out for me. I didn't want to kind of repeat the same experience. But to make a long story short, I chose Houston. Houston just kept popping up, and I actually had visited here in 2019, and I fell in love, and it was just really on my radar. And I said, you know what? I think I can make Houston work for me. It would be a new challenge. And you know, when you buy a house, it's permanent. You know, it's like until you decide to sell that house, that's where you're gonna live. So I wanted to live somewhere where it's bustling and where there are people who look like me, and a younger community. That's really what I was seeking. I headed to Instagram and I started looking for a realtor. I chose Instagram over any other medium because I feel like Instagram is the place where people showcase their true selves, and you know, it's a lot of competition to really stand out. So for me, it was a no-brainer to kind of start there. I started looking for realtors, and there was one who really just stood out to me. She seemed to be super knowledgeable about the area and about the home buying process and about relocating from a different state. So I reached out to her, and she was just like the realtor of my dreams. We started talking. I think our first conversation, we were on the phone for about an hour of her just interviewing me and asking me what I'm looking for. And she really just lived up to it. And she would send me listings every day and just discuss, you know, things that were kind of like deal breakers, things that I love, things that I just was like, eh. And, you know, we just kept going back and forth for about a month. She just really stayed connected to me. And finally, I just noticed that the market was really heating up. There was a lot of competition on homes. So I said, you know what, Candace, we got to get this show on the road. And I booked a flight and hotel to come visit. And I think I visited in July. Now, meanwhile, you know, one of the main components of buying a house is making sure that you have income. You actually need 2 years of continuous income. And obviously my job was based in New York City, and I would need that income. So basically what I started to do was look for jobs that were based in Texas. And lucky for me, I actually found an opportunity that I was going to take. However, it was in Austin, and I just wasn't feeling Austin. I started researching Austin, and I kept seeing all of these reviews about it being just like for weird people, and I was just like, I don't know. You know, I never lived in Texas, so I wanted to be in a space where, you know, it's a reflection of me, if you get my drift. I was able to talk to the higher ups at my company and express my desire to move to Texas and why, and they were just really into the idea. And heck, the pandemic was roaring. It's no telling when we'll be able to kind of come back together again. So they just said, hey, if you want to be remote, you've proven yourself as an employee, you can do that, you know. And on top of that, I got a raise. So it just all worked out in my favor. So I was able to become a remote employee, maintain my salary, and therefore qualify for the home loan. My interest rate was 2.875. My credit score was 748. Yeah, 748 was my credit score. And yeah, so when I started my search, I was so, of course, you're timid, you don't know what to expect. You want to look for a house that you think you can handle. So I wanted to look for a house that was about 170, 160. You know, I'm thinking this is Texas. There has to be some houses in that range, but clearly with the way things are going, that just was not feasible. So I bumped it up, and instead of really looking for homes, because seriously, the market was hot. You would look at a house and by the evening it would be gone. So I decided to go with a new construction, and I'm really happy I did that. And I ended up with a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-floor home. I have an attached garage. I have an office and nice yard. So I kind of started there. I feel like this is just a nice starter home for me right now. And I have not had any issues since I've been here. I haven't had anything like really break. We've had little annoyances, but it's not the end of the world. It's just little things. I would definitely do it again. I feel like at the time that I came into the market, I didn't have there wasn't a lot of availability for homes. So for me, being that my need to purchase at the time was greater, I just said, hey, it's worth going new construction. That's pretty much, you know, I had my down payment. I think my down payment cost me about $14K, and my home purchase price was $221,000. So I still feel like, given the way the market is today, it was a good deal. You know, things are now like, this type of home costs probably like $50,000 to $75,000 more than what I paid. To me, it's been worth it. My community is awesome. There's nothing but families here. And it's like I said, there's people out here who look like me, people that I can relate to. People that are on their grind, having, you know, the focus on their families and businesses. And I just love being a part of that. I think in New York visually gives off that vibe, you know, especially to tourists, like, oh, this is the city that never sleeps. We're all working hard. We're all grinding. But there's not a lot of opportunity to grow outside of that grind. And I was over it. I was like, look, I'm trying to preserve my youth. I'm trying to go sit out on my back porch with my glass of wine and just chill. You know, only thing I want to worry about is these bugs out here in the grass, you know? And living in New York did not afford me that. So, as I said, it was a no-brainer. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm happy. I'm so happy. Work is growing fantastic. My son is in school. He has his own little set of friends. My partner is working. Like, we're all doing our thing. We're doing what we did in Jersey City, but here, and it just feels safer. We live in a nice suburb. It's quiet. And that's really what I wanted. You know, if I want to go down to Houston, which is like 30 minutes away from where I live, I can just go have that experience. And it does not flood as bad here as it does in the city. Well, actually, it floods a little, but I have not seen any crazy flooding like how you see, like, you know, in pictures. But it's been a great experience. I just can't wait till this pandemic ends so my family could come visit. But yeah, best advice I can give is do your research on where you want to live. Figure out what that looks like for you. You know, do you want to be in the city? Do you want to be in a suburb? Do you want to live in a rural, isolated, you know, place? Do you want a pool? Do you want an HOA? There's a lot of questions that you have to answer and come to terms with. And then I think once you figure out what that looks like, or what you can settle for, because it's never going to be perfect, what you can settle for and still feel happy, that's when you start. You know, obviously you want to get a realtor who is knowledgeable and is going to advocate on your behalf, but you also want to understand that this is a business and they make money when you close. So they're going to be looking out for their best interest too, and it's just not taking that aspect of it personal, just going above and beyond. Another lesson I learned is that these home inspectors, like I said, I'm glad I got a new construction, but you can't trust them. You know, it's a very surface level inspection and you're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it. And, you know, 2 months later, something major could happen, a pipe could burst, whatever. Again, just take everything with a grain of salt. Make sure you have a nice little safety net. I think with the pandemic and the way everything turned out, with me not commuting to work and spending money on food and junk, you know, I saved a lot of money. So I was able to, you know, have money for my down payment, also have money for an emergency fund in case something were to happen. But you definitely want to factor that in. Overall, don't rush it. Don't go out there buying 85 pieces of furniture that cost $85,000 and getting in debt, and then 3 years later you don't even like what you bought. Take your time. Add pieces that you love little by little. I actually hate the way my house is set up right now. It's not giving me the vibes that I wanted, but I'm okay because I'm in my home and I'm doing it at my pace, taking my time. If this is something you want to do it. There is no perfect time. You cannot time the market. Each market is different from place to place. If you want to do it now. The timing will never be perfect. It just has to be your perfect timing. I will be back next week with another video. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.